Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition. We are going to be talking about how to build an insert tray for our box that fits down into our box a little bit, but not all the way. We've already done some work. So we figured out, we've made this measure drawing of the size of our tray and the size of all the little compartments and what they're going to be used for. So we're ready to go on that, as well as we've looked at the depth of the box and the depth of the lid and figured out how deep we can make our tray. Now, one of the things you have to be careful about when you're making the tray is that the smaller the compartments get, the more shallow the tray needs to be. If you've got something that's only like a few centimeters wide in both directions, and you make it 5 centimeters deep, you're not going to be able to get your fingers down to the bottom to grab anything. You're going to be very frustrated by that tray. So as your boxes get smaller, the tray, the wall of the tray has to get less deep or shallower, so it's able to still grab stuff there at the bottom of it. All right, so here we go. Let's do it. So I'm going to open up my Fusion 360. I'm going to open up the scalable box file. You can see I have it open here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the tray in this file. You don't have to. The reason I'm doing this is that I think it's kind of fun to have them all in one place. And I can reuse my parameters from before and use them to be scaling things later with. So I think that might be interesting. But you can start with a brand new file. All you have to do is add the parameters. So let's take a look at those real quick. So right now we have a width, height, and length parameter. We have a thickness parameter, and I added this one for lid height. You're going to need this lid height parameter, and my lid height was 3 centimeters. So that's the height of my side walls of my lid. And then from here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add some more parameters. So we know that the width of our tray is going to be width minus 2 times the thickness minus 0.015 centimeters. Now we can type that in every time, or we can make a new parameter. Watch this. So I'm going to call this one L lid width. I can't use spaces up here, so that's fine to leave it just like that. And this one's going to be just what I want it to be. It's going to be width, normal width, not lid width, minus 2 times the thickness minus 0.15. So now I've defined the lid width as being a combination of width and thicknesses and this number. So if sometime later I want to change things around and make it wider or narrower, I can easily come and do that right here, and it'll ripple through everything. So this is the left to right face of lid. So that's the distance from the left to right face. Maybe I'll put from in here. So from left to right face of the lid, and that's okay, that's our width. We'll do the same thing with length. So parameter, we're going to call this lid length. And we're going to enter, this one's going to be length minus 2 times the thickness minus 0.015 centimeters. Nope, that's just wrong. Minus 0.15 centimeters. And notice it's done the math for me real quick. Based on what I put in, it's going to make it 14.3. And then this one is from front to back faces of lid. Click OK. And top to bottom, so the lid height was top to bottom of faces, left to right faces. Okay, and these are both match up, so I know for mine that they're correct. Okay, yours will probably be different because you probably have a different length than a width. If you don't, if you're the same, then yours will be the same as well, but different numbers. All right, so that's it for our parameters. I think if we need more, we'll add more. So what I've done already, I actually went back and I redesigned the lid, and I added it to this file. So here I put the lid just above this one, and I put the flattened one just above that one. So that was kind of cool. I thought that'd be fun. And I thought I'd maybe put the tray right in here. You don't need to put the lid in your file. In fact, you might be in a totally blank file, having just entered those things. If you do start with a blank file, here's what I want you to do though. I want you to create a width, height, length, and thickness parameter and make it the width of your box, the height of your box, the length of your box, and then create these based on that number. That way when you come through here, you don't have to try and figure out how to fix things. you just make this the same 3 numbers that are in the box. And then it'll make a lid the right size. It'll ripple through there. Okay, so let me show you some stuff. There's some confusing things going on here. I've made a whole bunch of components. Notice I've got an assembled box and a flattened box component. I've got an assembled lid and a flattened lid component. And I've got an assembled tray and flattened tray. You don't have these two, you need to make these two. Don't worry about not having the lid ones. And even if you don't have both box ones, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is make sure you make these 2 components. So right click on scalable box, do new component, and call the first one assembled tray. Do it again, new component, and call it flattened tray. Now notice how everything is like this dark gray color. That's because I have the top one, the scalable box, everything is the active component. That means everything can be messed with right now. Well, that's not always a good thing. In fact, when you have this on, all the sketches that you make are going to go into this main sketch folder. And I actually want my tray sketches to go into this assembled tray folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make assembled tray the active component. And when you do that, anything that's not active, which is everything else, is going to turn to this like clear color so you know which ones are active and which ones aren't. Right now, if I were to do something, it would not affect these other pieces. I can't edit them right now. I have to turn them on, or I can come up here and turn them all on and then affect all of them. Okay, go back to, I'm going to make a assembled tray the active component, and I'm going to build the tray like right here in between these two. So first thing I'm going to do is create a construction plane, offset plane. I'm going to offset it from this bottom plane here, and I'm going to pull it up somewhere in between the lid and the box. And I'm going to build the tray from the bottom of the tray up. So I'm going to keep it a little bit probably lower towards the box. Yeah, about right there looks good. And I'm going to click OK. Now I've got a plane to draw my tray on. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click Create Sketch. I'm going to go right on that, and there's my sketch. Now, as you can tell, my sketch is actually below the top. It's down there. So I'm having to look through the lid. I want to turn that lid off. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do lid. Turn the lids off. You probably don't even have that problem. I am going to leave the box on, but I'm going to get the flattened box out because I don't want to be distracted by that. I want to leave the box on so I make sure I make it in the right quadrant. I'm going to make my tray over on this side somewhere. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a box. And I'm going to start actually on the quadrant. I paused there for a second because I wanted to think about where I wanted to make it. So I'm going to make this the lid, and this is, if I look here, the front is down on this face. That means this direction is width and this direction is length for me. So I'm going to call this the lid width, enter. And the other one is going to be lid, and I can use the arrow key to go down the length if I want to, or just keep typing until it, gets to the right one you want. And then I'm going to hit enter there. And that is the dimensions of my lid. So now that I've put it in the right place, I don't have to worry about that box anymore. So I'm going to hide the box. And I'm going to extrude this. And I don't care which way it extrudes. Thickness, I'm cool with that. And then I'm going to hit enter. And now I have the bottom of my box. And that should be, if I've done everything correctly, in the bodies folder under assembled tray. And it is. So I'm going to call this the bottom tray. So that's the bottom of the tray. Okay. Now I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm going to start building all my walls. I'm going to start with my main wall going across from left to right. That's the way I want mine to be. You could do yours, front to back. I'm going to do mine left to right. It doesn't matter. Your choice. But I'm going to do the main wall first, which is halfway between these two walls. So I'm going to come up here and get a construction line. And I'm going to... So construction and then the line tool. And I'm going to find the halfway point. Whoop, there it was. Right there. I'm going to draw a construction line across. Awesome. That one's fixed in place. Then I'm going to draw another construction line down. I want to find this dead center of this, because what I want to do is I want the wall of this box to be right on the middle. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab a center rectangle, which is this one, and I'm going to center the rectangle right here in the middle of the box. Turn off the construction lines. I want an actual rectangle this time. And this one's going to be thickness because it's the thickness of our material. And then this next one is going to be 3 centimeters for the depth of the tray plus an additional 3 centimeters. I'm going to do the additional 3 centimeters right now. Yep. Plus a full 3 centimeters for the handle, whatever you think your handle should be. I'm going to add those two together, and that's going to give me 6 centimeters. No, wait, how dumb am I? Sorry. That should be the width of the box because mine's going left to right. So that should be the lid width. Wait, did I call that lid width this whole time? Yeah. Lid width. That should all... I'm so stupid. That should all be tray width. I'm not fixing that. I'll fix that next year. So that should say tray width, but it says lid width. So we're going to live with it. So lid width, right? It's not the lid width, it's the width of the tray. My bad. And now I'm going to extrude this. And this is where that 6 centimeters comes in. So this is the one thing that isn't going to change with your dimensions because we're not dimensioning it off of anything else. We're giving it an actual number. So if we go back and we change something, we're going to have to go back and redesign this centerpiece and change its height if we change the lid or the box depth or something. So that's our first piece down. Okay. Oh, nope, that was probably not. Yeah, I just noticed. I didn't check. This should be a line here. Right now it's joined into one piece. So I need to go back and edit that feature. So that's my last extrude feature. I'm going to go back to edit feature. It's going to bring this back up. I'm just going to say new body here. Now notice how there's a line there. That means there's 2 separate bodies now. So body 2, this is going to be the handle. Or maybe you want to call it middle tray or something like that. I don't know. All right. Next, I'm going to draw the outside 4 rectangle or 4 walls. So I'm going to do it kind of the same way we did the box. I'm going to hide the handle first. I'm going to create a sketch on the surface of this, and I'm just going to do a rectangle. I'm just going to think about what each side needs to be. So obviously this side is thickness, tab. This side is width. Nope, this side is lid width. There it is. Yep, it fits perfectly. And I just want to make sure actually... Yep, there's the front. So this is the width. And tab, this one should have been thickness. It didn't take for some reason. And then enter. And I'm going to extrude this. Now this one's not going to be the same depth as the other one or same thickness or height. It's going to just be 3 centimeters. And I did it again. Notice how there's not a line here. So I've got to go back and edit the feature. At some point I will learn to make sure this says new body because it won't say it ever. I'm going to click OK. Now I have a 3 centimeter high wall here. And body 3, this should be, is this the front? No, this is the back. So I made the back wall first. So body 3 is back tray. And next. So I'm just going to click on another one and do another one. Yep, I'm in the right place. Oops. And now I'm going to create a wall down here. This is going to be the front. And just keep going around all the sides, adding in the walls. So this is width. Oh, nope, lid width. Should be tray width, but I'm stupid, so it's lid width instead. Enter, and then extrude this. And make sure which direction it's going. Yep, that's right. I'm going to do 3. Again, this number won't change if I change other stuff because I'm just putting a number in. And, oh, I did it again, so I'm going to go back and edit feature. And I'm going to say new body. Okay, and I'm going to call this one, yep, front tray. Now I'm going to do the right side. So here. And this time I'm going to hide the back and the front of the tray. And I'm going to draw a rectangle in this corner. And this is thickness. And this is lid length. Enter, extrude. And I'm going to go up 3 centimeters. And I'm going to do new body. Just make sure that's gone. Yep, everything's going great. Okay. And then another one on the left side. But I'm going to make this one our tray. And then a rectangle here. This one should be length. Nope, this one should be lid length. And this one should be thickness. Enter, extrude. I'm going to pull this one up 3 centimeters. And I'm going to do, ooh, look at me, I learned a new body. And I'm going to click OK. I'm going to call this left tray. Okay, so now I've got bottom, or sorry, the bottom, the handle, all of this built in. I need to now start building in my intermediate ones. Well, let's hold off there. Let's hold off there, and I'll show you how to do the rest in the next video, creating the inside ones.